my Flagstaff home. Today I'm gonna give you a look at my my garden, or it's really not much of a garden at this point because we're only in the middle of May and our growing season doesn't start for another month. But I want to show you sort of what I have going, what's in the ground, the preparations I've had to take so far, and then hopefully what I'll do is give you some updates to see what happens with it throughout the summer. Now this right here is one of my vegetable gardens. I don't know how well you can see it. There's some shade. We have a lot of pine trees in our backyard, which makes vegetable gardening a little tricky because I have to find just the right places that get enough sun during the daytime. So this is a garden where last summer I planted tomatoes, but I do crop rotation, so they're not going to be growing there. I don't know if you can see it. There's a little, in front of the water barrel there's a little hoop where I'm going to be growing some sweet peas on that side. In front of the hoop and underneath it I'm growing some greens and radishes. I'm going to be growing some bush beans, purple bush beans in the middle, and then over on the far left side I'm going to be growing carrots and beets. And there's little tiny sprouts right now. This is the middle of May, so it's just about the right time to be planting. Our official growing season doesn't begin until the middle of June, and so some of the things, more delicate things, need to be protected until that time. So let me show you. When we come over here, this is my other plot of gardening space that's in one of the few places in my yard that has a good bit of sun. And so these are 6 little beds that I have, and these red things are walls of water. They protect plants down to 16 degrees, I think it said on the package. They're plastic, and let me get a little bit closer here so you can see. They're plastic, and they have little cylinders that you fill with water, and then put them in the ground, put them on top of the ground. It's best if you put them out about a week before you're going to plant stuff, because the water absorbs heat from the sun, which warms the soil. And then when you put a delicate plant in the ground, like a tomato, which is what I have in these, the ground is warm. And at first, when it's still pretty cold, you teepee the wall of water so that it's closed at the top, and then the tomato plant just has its own little happy party inside, and it feels really humid in there, and they just stay warm even if it snows. So I have the tops opened a little bit because we haven't been dipping down into those temperatures. I'll show you one of my tomatoes here. That's a mortgage lifter tomato, and that's what I have. All 3 of these are mortgage lifters. And this one over here, I have a San Marzano. The back one has a black cherry tomato. And these 3 over here are Brandywine tomatoes. So then in these other 3 garden beds, I'm gonna have different kinds of squash plants. I don't even know what kind, because I bought, just for fun, I bought a mix of seeds. It's called just a summer squash seed mix. And those are growing in pots inside right now. I'm waiting a little bit longer to put them out in the garden, mostly because I've run out of walls of water, and so I would need to protect them. And then this one's going to have squash in it too, but in the very front of it, right down in this area, I've planted some, they're called Jacob's cattle beans. They look like cows. They're spotted brown and white, and they're kind of a dry bean sort of a thing. So I've never done those before, so we'll see what happens with those. So those are the preparations. The yard looks a little doesn't look like much of anything right now because we are not fully into spring. I don't have any of my plants out. I don't have my cushions out on my chairs yet. We put the cushions out for the ones on the deck, and we have an awning there that we pull out because we get some pretty intense sun during the day, so that'll be out a lot during the summer. But you can see that my big flower pots don't have anything in them yet. I'm going on a trip next week, and so I just don't want to have anything in there that needs to be tended to a lot. So I'm going to wait until after I get back to do those, and also my flower boxes on the front porch. That'll be the last week of May, and so it'll be a really good time to get all those in there. And if you watched my other video on my poor little flower garden that just isn't doing much of anything, I can sort of show you that it's in that back corner there. You can kind of see it. Oops, did I just make it blurry? Okay. And then over on the side of the wall, or the fence over here, we have 3 plants over there, 2 butterfly bushes and a Russian sage, which have started to sprout, and so those will look really nice. We just planted them last summer, so I'm hoping we'll see a lot of nice bushy greenery on those. And then one more thing I'll show you is on this side here. This is another question I have that maybe somebody can answer for me. This is a raspberry, the starting of a raspberry bush. It's been in the ground for about 4 years. It comes up every year, it gets tall and bushy, and has never once had a blossom. So needless to say, we've never had a raspberry. I have no idea why. So, and then this over here is a blackberry bush. It's starting to get some little sprouts. And this one has grown, and it seemed like it had done more growing last year in its 5th year than it ever had before. But it doesn't give us very many blackberries, like maybe a little handful. I heard that they like acidic soil, and to add a little bit of vinegar to to some water and add it to it. I'm going to have to check into that to see just how much. The good thing is I'm going to be taking a class at the university this summer that's called Sustainable Botany, which is a fancy name for gardening. And I think that I will learn a lot specifically about gardening at high altitude. And hopefully they'll help me with both my vegetable garden and my flower garden. Although my vegetable gardens do really well. Certain things don't do well. I have not been able to grow a winter squash to save my life, but I get lots and lots of tomatoes, bumper crop, hundreds of them. So I'm pretty fortunate with that. So anyway, that's kind of where we are with the garden, and in the next month it should really pick up, and I'll do another video to show you how we're coming along. So that is my garden and a little bit of my yard in the month of May. Stay tuned for some updates in June and the rest of the summer. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.